Hey guys, happy Friday. How's it going? I want you to know, can you see? Maybe you can't. These nails have been working. Look at that. Look at that hand. I have been working on putting together something that I want to be able to show you that I think is going to help answer a lot of questions. One, so many people are like, what can I do? Like, I've just gotten involved in rescuing and restoring furniture. Amy, take me to the next level. Like, what can I do? Like, we talked about waxing last week, and it was really informative. And I showed you how you can use a lot of different waxes, very simple, to put on top of your furniture, your finish, whatever it is that you're painting, whether it's your kitchen cabinets or your furniture. And I thought, you know what? What's one of the next things I'd like for them to really understand, because this is a game changer, and it's glazing. Maybe you've heard the name glazing. Maybe you've heard the word glazing and you're going, I have no idea what that is. It's so easy. It's so fun. It's so transformative. You can use it on furniture. You can use it on cabinetry. You can use it on accessories. You can do this technique on walls. And it's very, very simple. There's a lot of easy techniques. And I'm going to show you on 6 different colors how from a light color, from going from Bauhaus Buff all the way to a really gorgeous deep red, or a green, a deep green, how it can look really great. So I'm wanting to show you now, as I always like to do, I like to show you before and afters. So, and two, as you hop on here, say hey, tell me where you're tuning in from, and guess what? We had a very lucky winner last Friday. Hey Janet, we had a lucky winner last Friday that she won the entire waxing package, all of the waxes that I was showing. Today, the winner is going to win a stencil and glazing liquid and some gold chalk art. So I want to be able to show you just how fun and easy this technique is today, and it's one of these things you can put in your toolbox and go, I now understand what glazing is. It's so easy and it's fun, and it's really going to transform the way I'm looking at doing my finishes. Hey Karen. Hey guys, so all you have to do, how do I win, Amy? How am I going to win this stuff? All you have to do is share this video. And part of what we're doing, what we're really wanting to be able to do, is the part of the reason why I take out this time to be able to do this, especially on Fridays, is because I'm really wanting to teach you. I'm hoping if I pour into you and you start understanding the difference of things, then your level of connoisseurship and the way you do finishes is going to come up to a different level, that where you will see yourself really moving forward and progressively, as far as going, wow, I understand and I can do so much more than I've ever done. Because a lot of you've learned how to paint furniture and then it stops. Then it's like, now, show me the next thing. So I'm showing you the next thing today. So we're gonna go over glazing. All right, so this is Italian silver. This is a gorgeous color, by the way. This is our one step in Italian silver. And then I created a glaze on top of it that is Palace Gray. Now, that's all that is. So I wanted you to be able to see side by side. See the difference? So when you paint a piece of furniture or a cabinet or whatever, nightstand, whatever you're gonna paint, and you do it in this Italian silver, which is our one-step color. If you make up a glaze, which I'm getting ready to show you, and you come on top of it with this glaze, then it's going to be a darker value. Look, you can see this color showing underneath. I painted the entire board, and I just made up a glaze and went on top of it. But I did a piece of tape here because I wanted you to be able to see what a difference it made. Now here's where I want you to hang with me for just a second. I'm putting on my teacher's hat for just a second, and I want you to really understand this. When you are making glazes, it's important, there's a thing called LRV. It's an acronym. LRV, light reflective value, is what it stands for. The light reflective value. What I want you to do, and this is where a lot of people will make mistakes on their projects, they will go with a lighter color, and their glaze is too dark. It's the same way they run into a problem when they use dark wax. You can ruin a project very quickly by using dark wax. But what I want you to remember when you're doing glazes is the light reflective value doesn't need to be more than 3 colors on like a gradation scale. You need to be able to try to stay about in that color family. And I also say monochromatic. What does monochromatic mean? Meaning mono, one color. Monochromatic, one color. So a lot of times I will take my base coat color, I'll add just a little bit of brown or a little bit of whatever color to it, and make it just a little bit darker. I'm gonna show you how to do that today as well. So don't lose me. If we don't, you know, here's the deal. If we learn anything that's anything of value, sometimes it is more difficult. And we've got to think outside of the box. We've got to make sure it's like, oh, okay, go back and watch this video again, and then go, now I understand what she's saying. So I'm just wanting to go over that with you, and I think I'm gonna show you this. Well, hey, Karen, this is the exciting thing. Karen, you're coming in from Australia. We do celebration lunch on Friday, and there would be Theo. He's saying hello to everyone. We were just really having a praise party and just saying, you know, how cool is it now? We are shipping DHL all over the world. We were shipping paints and stencils and products to Portugal, to Australia, to the UK, to Canada, to Mexico, I mean, everywhere. So I just think about all of you guys, it's so fun. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter where you live. We all love being creative, and we all love rescuing and restoring furniture. Hey, Lisa, how's it going? I've known that girl a long, long time. Okay, all right. So actually, we were roommates in college. It's so funny to be doing this, and my roommate from college is popping on here. So, hey, girl. All right, so let's go over this. The best way to learn how is for me to just show you. So I'm going to show you. Karen, I'm so glad you're excited about this video too. All things glazing. So watch it again, take some notes, and let's go back and look at this. So this is what we're gonna start with. I'm gonna turn my camera down. Now, I'll go back and I'll look at your questions and I'll answer them later, I promise. But be sure and share this video. Sharing is caring. And that way your name will go in for a drawing, and I'm gonna be giving this stuff away. So excited. Now, Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. You share this video Monday. We don't make the announcement until Monday afternoon. So all of your names are going to go into a drawing to be able to win the pack this week of the glazing liquid, of the stencil, and the gold chalk art. So pumped. All right, so here we go. I'm going to turn this down. Hang with me because we got a lot to learn. All right, so here is our first board. This is French blue with A Good Man Is Hard to Find. If you have ever thought that A Good Man Is Hard to Find, as dark of a gray it is, would look this pretty over blue. So this is my half and half. So let me show you. I've painted this board. I'll move this out of the way so there's only one thing in the image so that way you can see it. So we've got French blue. This is a gorgeous color all on its own. Now, could you paint a cabinet or piece of furniture like this and leave it alone? Absolutely you could. But let's take it to the next level. Let's see what we could do by actually glazing it. So I'm gonna mix the first one up so that way you can see, but I'm not gonna go over making glazes every time, because you're just gonna know that every time I make a glaze, I'm gonna tell you what the color was that I used, and this is how you do it. Making glazes are very simple, and the whole point of the glaze is that the glaze will pick up a little bit of this base color, but also it's going to be the color that goes on top that's gonna change it and give it a lot more depth. Now, and it's so easy to work with. Here's the other thing. Maybe you didn't know this, but when you use the glazed over or your glazing liquid, when you use this, we always say, those of you maybe that are watching and you know the formula that I always use, but what is it? It's 1 part glazing liquid, 1 part paint, 1 part water. So it's water-based, it's easily cleanable. And the other thing, okay, now I'm dripping it. The other thing is, you don't have to put any wax on top of it to seal it, or it's cleanable. This actually has a polyacrylic sealer in it as well, so you're done. You don't have to put wax on top of it. Now, do I? Sometimes I do, depending on the finish that I want to get. If I want to be able to get a pretty patina with it, I will. All right, so I've got 1 part glazing liquid that I just did. I'm going to take my color, A Good Man Is Hard to Find, named after Gene Howard. And it's a gorgeous dark gray. Gorgeous, gorgeous color, guys. But mixed up into a glaze it can be a beautiful color on top of my French blue one step. Now, what do I need to add? Water. Now, I'm gonna mix this up together. You wanna make sure too that your glaze is a nice thin enough consistency that you don't put it on too thick. Here's the other mistake a lot of people will make, is that it will get too thick and then it's gonna dry too fast on you. So you wanna mix it, 1 part water, 1 part glaze, 1 part paint, okay? Don't make it too thick. You're not gonna be happy. All right, so I made some right before we went live. I've got all of my glazes ready, and I'm gonna be working with a sponge brush. I tell you what, Michelle, do me a favor, turn these lights down just a tad and make sure they're on the full white. I'm looking and there's a little bit of a shadow on here. So, all right, so that way I want you to be able to see, this is my glaze that I've made, and I'm gonna dip this down in here. Maybe that way a little bit more down so that way they can see it. And I'm gonna go on and put it over the entire board like this. So this is my Good Man Is Hard to Find glaze, and you're gonna work on small sections at a time. See how I'm even brushing that on there? Look at that, how I can see that blue through there. Thank you. I can see that blue through there. Now I'm gonna take a lint-free rag, and I'm gonna kind of bunch it up like this, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna lightly just kind of pat this off like this. Now I'm gonna show you 6 different colors today, so hang with me. Y'all are like, oh my gosh, Amy, this is a lot of information. Well, I'm wanting you to be able to learn how to glaze, and I want you to see how different colors can look totally different, where you can make a decision like, oh, I love that color combo. I'm gonna get just a little bit more of my lint-free rag. So I'm gonna come back over this again. When I am glazing, it's more of a hit drag. I'm not dragging it this way. I'm kind of going up and down, but look at my wrist. It will turn, and I come back on this kind of the second pass, and it makes it softer because I really don't wanna see the kind of tool that I used. I don't want to be able to see that I did it with a rag, so I'll come back and I'm softening it. And it's going to give me a little bit of texture that's oh so yummy. Look at that. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I get so excited over this. Let's go back. Now you've got a larger piece. I want you to see. I can hold this up. Let's see if I can get some light to it. I've got my laptop over here, so I just try to see. Can you see the light? Let me make sure. Hold on, it takes just a minute. So it's got a beautiful texture to it. I love it. Let's look at this. Let's compare it to, there it is. There's just my plain French blue. Now, can I make this darker? Yes. Can I make it lighter? Yes. Depending on, look at this. This is one that I did just right before we went live. Look how much lighter it is. My glaze was just a little lighter. And once it sets up like that, because I'm talking, it'll have a tendency to be a little darker. So you want to be careful. That way you can kind of hold that up and see. But all I did was a French blue base with a glaze with a Good Man Is Hard to Find. Now let me show you something. If I'm doing this on a piece of furniture, one of the first things I'm going to want to do, I'm just going to tell you because it just will come alive, is a little bit, and I brought it over here. Help me, Hannah. Yes? I thought I brought it over here.
You didn't. It wasn't something I put away. It's Michelle's fault. Blame the girl.
Okay, all right, so something that would look really great on top of this that I could come back and gild an edge would be gold leaf. Look at this. Loving it, loving it. Do you see how that would pop? So if you don't know how to do gold leaf, go back to one of my other videos and watch it, but look at this. If I came back and I did a gilded band all around that, do you not see how fab that would be? Would love it. Now, that would look great on this. I can definitely come back if I want to be able to wax on top of it, but I don't have to. The glaze is dead flat. It has a beautiful matte finish, but I'm done. Now, let me show you something else that I can do. I can come back. This is one of my stencils from a maker studio. And this is called Motif. And there's a lot of designs that you would use on a piece of furniture. And so I want to just show you something that you can do on top of the glazing. Maybe this is something that you haven't thought about before. I'm getting ready to also show you a glaze that looks like denim. So if you've wanted to do something that actually looks like a denim finish, you're going to love this. All right, so I'm just going to lay down, this Greek key. Can you see this? On the edge. And I want to show you. So that way, if you've got a small piece, you've got, could I get a spreader real quick? I'm going to take this metallic gold chalk art and I'm going to put it on top of this, on top of my glaze. Now, the great thing about it is it allows me to be able to get some really easy detail of this gold because I'm loving this gold with the blue. Hey guys, as you pop on, tell me where you're watching from. I can't see your names right now, but I will be looking at them later. And share this video. This is something, it's like, hey guys, you love redoing furniture, you need to watch Amy's video. She's showing you how to do glazing today because I'm going to show you some more colors. All right, so look at this. I'm just going to do a little bit here because I want you to be able to see when you're doing glazing to come back and add some embellishing, it really takes it to a whole new level. This is where I totally get into making the pieces that I'm doing really, really special. That's as simple as that. This is an adhesive stencil that you can wash, you can use over and over again. Now I probably need to let my glaze dry just a little bit. Yes, I can tell because it's a little bit wet, but it gives you the idea of what I need to do. I'm going to lay that back down because I love that gold on top of that. Matter of fact, let me try something. I'm going to lay this other larger one here. Hang tight just a second, guys. But happy Friday! It's Friday. I don't know about y'all, but I am ready for Saturday. I'm going to let Jean Howard make me a cappuccino in the morning, and I'm going to stay in bed and read for at least an hour. Yeah, my glaze is kind of wet. I've got to do it on top of one that's dried. All right, so as a rule, I tell people you need to allow it to dry for about an hour before you start doing that, so I'm going to have to make sure that I do. All right, all right, so now let me show you the next color. So what we just did, we did French blue with A Good Man Is Hard to Find on top of it. Now, let me show you this color. This is Italian silver with a palace gray glaze. Now, can you see this? It almost looks like denim. Do you not love that? Look at that. Now, let me show you how to do this. This would be a beautiful finish on top of a wall. You could do this on a piece of furniture. You could gild the hardware and it would look absolutely amazing. It's kind of hard on these phones to be able to see the detail and the texture to it, but it's absolutely spectacular. All right, so let me show you how I did this. I've got my, now I'm skipping around. So now this is painted with my base coat color. You'll just do 2 coats of one step, and this is Italian silver. It's a beautiful, beautiful color all on its own. Now, this is my glaze. Now, look at this color combo. See this gorgeous blue-gray color? This is Ambala blue, and I've made it into a glaze. This is 1 part glazing liquid, 1 part water, 1 part paint. I'm gonna go over the whole board. So it's letting you see how a light gray color with a blue-gray glaze on top of it can look totally different. Now, watch me for just a second because this is going to be a different technique that I'm getting ready to show you. Take your lint-free rag and go over it, get your excess off, and you're going to have a little bit of texture like this. This is not the look that we're going to go for. but I'm getting my excess off. Now, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna come back with a glazing brush. I just use my hog hair brushes, and I'm gonna go against it like this. I always take off the excess with a rag first. That allows me to be able to get this gorgeous texture with my brush. Now, after I go horizontally, I can come back and go the opposite direction. Look what that does. What does it look like? It starts to look like kind of a brushed denim look. This is absolutely fab. I wish you could see this in person. Love this. Love, 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 love. This would be fabulous on a cabinet, on a piece of furniture. And remember, if you're looking at this and you're going, Amy, I'd love for my kitchen cabinets to look like this. They can. You don't have to put wax or anything on top of it because it's sealed. This has a varnish in it when you're mixing it with the glazing liquid. So if you mix this glazing liquid with your paint and your water, you're good. This is going to be a gorgeous finish for you to be able to enjoy. Now it dries down. The shadows are going to be a little bit more intense. It's going to make it be that much prettier. Now, what was this again? This was Italian silver with Ambala blue glaze on top of it. All right, so now let's go to the next one. You're gonna love this. A lot of people have asked me, Amy, can I use the gel stains over paint? The answer is absolutely yes. This is an example. This is Vintage Affliction, our one-step Vintage Affliction, and what do we put on top of it? Guess what? It's the Kensington Black Glaze. Let me show you. So this glaze comes in a gel form. So people are like, okay, Amy, but that's a stain. But here's the deal. Because it's a gel, you can use this as well as a glaze. It's already got your glazing liquid in it. And sometimes if you want, you can thin this down because I think since it's black and it is a gel stain, it can be a little too thick. So I will normally thin it down, but I wanted you to be able to see what it looks like. This is Vintage Affliction with a black glaze on top of it. Now, and here's the other great thing that you may not have known. You can mix the one-step paint with the gel stain. So you can take a little bit of your Vintage Affliction and add a little bit of your black gel stain, and then that way you don't have to have it as dark. You can also thin it. So let me show you what I'm saying. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit, let me get my cup, and I'm gonna take a little bit of water and a little bit of my gel stain. So here's my gel stain. I'm gonna pour this in here like this. Look at the gel consistency. This is the yummiest stuff. If you've never used our gel stain, you're missing out because it's absolutely fabulous. You will love working with it. I'm gonna grab one of my, let me see if I've got a spoon. Yes, I have a clean one. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit of tap water to this. I usually work with just room temperature tap water. And I'm just gonna thin it just a little bit. Stir that up good. Has a great smell to it too. Normally stains are just kind of nasty, but this is really nice and so easy to work with. So I'm gonna thin it just a little bit more. Hey guys, as you pop on, tell me where you're tuning in from, and be sure you want to share this video because I'm going to be giving away to the winner. Your name will go on for a drawing just by sharing the video. I'm going to give away some glazing liquid and my motif stencil, as well as some chalk art, some gold chalk art that you can work on. All right, so I'm happy with that glaze. I don't have to add the antiquing glaze to this. And I'm going to use a sponge brush to apply it. Sometimes I'll use a high density foam roller as well as a sponge brush. Just apply that. You do want to work quickly. And a lot of times with the glaze, I will work in X's like this. That way you don't really see any stop and start marks. Makes it a lot easier to work with. Again, I want to be able to get a lint-free rag. I'm going to bunch it up just a little bit like this. Again, I'm working very quickly. And here's the other thing I want to make sure that you're doing. Do not go like this. Don't go in rows. Work your way around. Get that upper right-hand corner. Come down here. Finesse it. And then come back. You don't want to leave it too scrunchy. You want to soften it. So you want to be careful too. This will become a positive tool. We need to be turning it to where now it becomes a negative tool. This negative, when it's clean like this, now it's a negative tool. It's pulling that off. Once it gets too saturated, it'll have a tendency just to get, I am loving this color. I am loving this. This is so sophisticated. Now here's what I might do. Can y'all see that? I just don't know about the glare. Like I want to hold it up so you can kind of see it. I'm going to come back with another one of my glazing brushes, and I'm just going to kind of finesse it just a little bit, like this, because I like more of a striated look to it instead of the texture. That's a personal preference. So I tell people, depending on what you're going to be doing with your glazing, I'm just telling you guys, this is a home run. This is a home run winner. If you were here and you could see it. So let's talk about this for a minute. What color did we do this again? We did, our base coat is Vintage Affliction. Don't you love that name? Vintage Affliction with the gel stain done in Kensington Black. Now, I'm going to turn this up for just a second. I'm just telling you, look at this. Can you see this color? It's to die for, to die for. It's like these lights are such a glare. I want you to be able to see it. It is so yummy. It would go with almost anything. But this is Vintage Affliction with the black gel stain on top of it. It's fabulous, fabulous. Okay, let's do another color. Because I want you to be able to kind of go through and say, okay, I see what she's saying. It's like, now, here's the same thing that we just did. All right, Mr. Camera, don't do that. Here's what we just did. Same thing. I'm not going to do it again, but here is shawl red with the black glaze on top of it. See the difference? Just the same exact thing that I did, but now I'm going to give you a little clue. When I did a lot of furniture in my lifetime, we would do a lot of furniture with glaze, a black glaze on top of red. Now, if you want to add any artwork to your glaze, it's best to do the artwork first and then put the glaze on top of it. So look at this. If I came back, added some gold leaf, wear it down, distress it, age it just a little bit, that way it'll look beautiful with that. Love that. All right. Now, can you see this? Now I want to show you with a lighter color. We've done darker colors. Let's look at a light color. So I'm going to turn this down. Now, this is one of our most fabulous selling colors, Bauhaus Buff. Here's what I want you to be able to see. If you have a light color like Bauhaus Buff, you can mix up a glaze of a color that you love, and look how the glaze can look on top of Bauhaus. Now, please don't make the mistake of putting a color too dark on top of Bauhaus. That's why I'm wanting you to be able to see, doing dark reds, doing dark greens, doing dark blues. The light reflective value, or the glaze that you're doing on top of it, is going to be important. Look how pale a blue or a gray that I did on top of this on top of Bauhaus. You don't want to get too severe because it goes muddy. If you keep the color fairly close to the base color, you're going to be much happier. So you don't always have to do a monochromatic theme. You can go into colors with your glazes, and it can actually be really, really pretty. So the bottom is Bauhaus, and the top is a Ambala blue. Ambala blue is the top that we made the glaze out of. So let me show you what that is. This is also a yummy, yummy color. I want you to look at this. Look at this blue. So we've got Bauhaus as the base. So let's say you have a little girl's room and you want to have a pink glaze, which is absolutely adorable, by the way. But if you want to be able to have something that could go in your family room or your living room or your kitchen or whatever, this is a great color. It goes with a lot of industrial. If you love kind of farmhouse look, this is just a really pretty soft color. So let me show you what this looks like. So I've painted my piece Bauhaus. I have taken Ambala blue and I have mixed it. This is Ambala blue out of the can, so it lets you see kind of what that color is. And I've made it into a glaze, 1 part glaze, 1 part water, 1 part paint. And I'm gonna brush it on. Remember again, when you're working with a glaze, I want you to work on a section at a time. Work on the top, work on one drawer, work on the side. You don't wanna put glaze over your entire piece and then try to glaze it. All right, so I'm gonna apply it everywhere. How do we do it? Normally in X's, like this. That way, I just want to make sure as you're applying your glaze, do not try to go like this and brush it. Then you're going to have lines. It's best to kind of go in X's like this, work on small sections at a time. Then that way you can easily come back with your lint-free rag. Do not use a rag that has lint in it. Why? What? And I even suggest washing them before. And also don't use a texture. Let me show you. Look how a lot of these t-shirts, see how they'll have texture in them? Stay away from this because this texture will actually show up in your glaze. So we don't want to use that. So, and it's best to use cotton. Polyester is not going to absorb your glaze. Is everybody with me? Don't use polyester. Try to stay with 100% cotton, lint-free rags. It's good to wash them beforehand. And I'm doing my hit drag motion, glazing this. Such a pretty color. So pretty over this Bauhaus buff. It's soft. It's just yummy and it's got so much more depth. So here's the deal. A lot of people are like, well, why would you glaze? One, it gives you protection, but it gives you depth to your finish. It makes it look really sophisticated. If you want to come back with this, you could do some striping in a darker blue against this glaze, and it would look absolutely amazing. So, so pretty. So now that was our Bauhaus buff with our Ambala blue glaze on top of it. So pretty, so subtle, so pretty. All right, last but not least, I want to show you how to get a dark, dark green. So, this is, our color is English boxwood. Green is so in right now, guys. This is English boxwood, and I did a black glaze with English boxwood. So now this is a real important technique that I want you to get down, that I want you to understand. No matter whatever your color is, if it's in a darker family like this green, you can take one, you're gonna base coat your piece in this in English boxwood. Then you can take the English boxwood and mix a little bit of black with it and add your glazing liquid in your water, and that's your glaze. So you're just taking your base color, making it a little darker, and so we're saying this is still a monochromatic glaze. Is everybody with me? All right, so let me show you. So I took English boxwood, which this is the color. This is English boxwood. It's dried right here. And I mixed it with just a little bit of my, let me see, where's my glaze? Did it go away? No, here it is. That's hazel mahogany. All right, here it is. I mixed about a tablespoon of my Kensington black gel stain with my boxwood green, and it gave me this gorgeous color. Now here's the cool thing. I came back and I added some glazed over with it, because what does the glazed over do? to answer your question, you don't have to seal it after that. If you use your glazing liquid and your paint and your water, that gives you a beautiful finished piece. I don't have to come back on top of it with anything because why? The glazed over actually has a polyacrylic in it and it's sealing. If you come back and you do like a polyacrylic sealer, that makes it durable and washable and you can take care of it. That's what this is doing. So you're killing two birds with one stone. All right, so here was my before color. This is my boxwood green with just a little bit of black glaze. Look at the difference. Can you believe that? That's huge. There again, coming back, the texture that you see with this, the depth that you see with it is so much better than if you just had a straight color. See with this color here, and look at the depth that this has. Of course, it's darker, but let's say if you were going to go with a darker green and paint it, this is so much prettier, so much richer. Then, if you want to come back, I'm going to show you in just a minute. I'm going to come back and put some wax on top of this, and I'm going to let you see. It does make a big difference. Could I get some light antique wax? All right, so let's do this one. Let's do this glaze before we're finished. This is our last color, so hang with me. Thank you so much for watching today, and if you will share this video, guess what? Your name's going to go in for a drawing, and we're going to be giving away a bunch of free product to the person that we draw, but the way you get entered is because you sharing is caring. All you have to do is share this video, and your friends are going to love you for it because they're learning something. Now look at this. This isn't quite as black. It's just a dark hunter green over this first coat green that I did because I wanted to kind of keep it in that gorgeous kind of huntery boxwood green, which there again, green is just a big, big color right now. I'm going to take my cotton, not polyester, no polyester. We want to just have a cotton lint-free rag. And I'm going to come back over it. It's a hit drag motion. I'm not going in lines and I'm working my way around. This is so much more subtle. The texture to it visually is subtle, but it's so gorgeous. Your glazes are also going to dry down a lot darker. So you don't want to get it too dark because then it's just going to die on you. Now, a lot of times after I model it like that, I will come back with just a brush and I'll just go against it like that. This is if you don't want the modeling and you want more of a striated effect, which can actually be really, really pretty. Now, this is so subtle, but this is so rich. It's so rich. Can you see it? There's such a glare with the camera when it's wet, and I'm so sorry.
That's pretty.
But it's such a pretty color. Then when you think about, let's get the other. I want you to see the before. See the difference? Look at that. See what glazing can do? And it's just a simple process of a glazing liquid, water, and your paint. But it can really do a major difference in depth as far as glazing them. You can make it, you can come back after it's dried. You can darken it around the edges if you want to be able to have more of an antique look. But I want to be able to show you with wax, with the wax. Did I get light antique wax? Beautiful. All right, so now let me show you. So do I have to put wax on top of this? No, because I've already put glazing liquid in it. When you've put the glazing liquid in it, this is your sealant, so you don't have to worry about it. But maybe I want to be able to have a patina to it. So I can come back with the light antique wax, and this will look clear. You could also use Mind Your Own Beeswax. This is just the light antique wax, but it dries down clear. A lot of people get nervous. They're like, I don't want it to look dirty. It's not, guys. It's going to dry down clear, and you're not going to see it. So I'm just going to load some of this light antique wax up. And the only reason I'm putting this on, I don't have to. This is sealed, but the only reason I'm doing it is because I want you to see something. It's going to make this glazing come to life. It's going to look so rich. Once that has a chance to kind of set up, I want it to kind of come to tack, then I'm going to buff it. I'm pushing it too much right now. I need it to dry. It's just going to give your finish so much more depth. It's going to look so rich. And here's the other thing. When you spill things on it, when you pour things on it, what does it do? It protects it. So that way, you're able to just come back, get your rag, and clean it up. That's the other thing that it does as far as making it really easy to take care of. It really does. That's kind of fun, just being able to pour something on it. Look at that. This could very well be baby food. This could be red wine, anything. It really does give it a protection and a coat that allows you to be able to just kind of sop that up, and it won't leave any rings to it. But the glazing liquid is going to give you a beautiful protection, a beautiful finish, and a really great look. And all this can be gotten by glazing. It's as simple as that. So hopefully, if you're just now popping on and seeing this, we've gone over a lot of different colors today. So you can see how just adding glazing liquid, your paint, and water going over your base coat, it can be a major transformation in the way you look at rescuing and restoring furniture. So get some glazing liquid, try it, share this video, and on Monday afternoon, we're going to be making the announcement of the person that has won this package, and all you have to do is share. And really, this is an opportunity for you to be able to take what you learned last Friday and how to create custom waxes, and now be able to create your own custom glazes to put on top of the one step. It's going to totally change the way you see painting and doing furniture. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you at the estate sales. Bye.